So in this video, we're going to be looking at riding drops on steep terrain. So here we have our lovely drop, there we have our steep section, and then further on we have a big catch berm that's actually quite greasy and slippery. So how we're going to approach this, we're going to be in the middle of our bike in our attack position on the approach. We're going to be on the brakes, braking nice and smooth. We want to get as much braking as we can done before we start hitting this run up to the drop. So we want to be decided on whether we're doing it or not 6 feet at least before the takeoff, because you either do it or you don't. You don't want to half commit to stuff like this, because that's when stuff starts going wrong. So what we're going to do on the approach, we're going to be nice and smooth on our brakes in the middle of our bike, and then as we come to the edge of the takeoff, we're just going to come back ever so slightly off our bike, putting a little bit of tension through our arms just to get that front wheel to carry on staying up. So we don't want it to drop off too much, and we don't want to lift it up, because if we pull up off a drop, we're making the drop even bigger. All right, we want to get our wheels on the ground as soon as we can. Ideally both wheels, especially coming into a steep section like this. We want to get both wheels on the ground, and then we can gain traction, we can keep our bike pointing the right direction and guide it to where we want it to be. So when we're landing in the middle of our bike. We don't want to be landing leant back, because then your front suspension is just going to bounce and we're not going to have any weight on that front tyre. So we need weight on the front end to give it grip, and then we'll be able to steer into that turn. So coming in, smooth on the brakes, off the brakes before the edge of the drop, flying off, wheels on the ground, aiming for that turn, braking if we have to, but as smooth as we can. So we don't want to be upsetting the bike on this steep stuff, because it's really easy to tuck the front end or start sliding. All right, and just use the corner. Instead of trying to slow down before the corner, just slow down and ride all the way around it. So use the corner to carry your speed out of the turn. So this was looking at drops in steep sections. So a normal drop, yeah, that's fine. You land on flat, you carry on going la-di-da-di-la, la-di-da-di-da. Coming into this one, obviously we've got a steep section afterwards, so you always need to be ready for what's on the other side of that drop. So for example, this one, we had quite a steep, fast section which had very loose dirt into quite a greasy big berm, which had plenty of grip, to be fair. So yeah, always be ready for whatever's on the other side of that drop, whether it's 10 foot behind it, 20 foot behind it, 40 foot behind it. Just be ready for it. And the way we'd be ready is landing in that attack position, aggressive, basically grabbing your bike by the horns and being ready for whatever's coming up next, because that's the position you're going to be in where you have most control and you're ready, like I say, for whatever's coming up next after the feature.